Hello, this is Tony Heller from RealClimateScience.com. In the 2008 election, Obama said he was against same-sex marriage. And he not only was against same-sex marriage, but he also wasn't going to take anybody's guns away.
When y'all go home and you're talking to your buddies and they say, he wants to take my gun away. You've heard it here. I'm on television, so everybody knows it. I believe in the Second Amendment. I believe in people's lawful right to bear arms. I will not take your shotgun away. I will not take your rifle away. I won't take your handgun away.
Then he spent the next 8 years working to take people's rifles and handguns away. Let's take a look now at what he said about same-sex marriage during the 2008 campaign.
Define marriage.
I believe that marriage is the union between a man and a woman. Now, for me as a Christian, it's also a sacred union. God's in the mix.
It's easy to tell when Obama's lying because either his eyes are closed or his mouth is open. The press reported that shortly after the election, Obama's views about same-sex marriage began to evolve. But what was really going on, as David Axelrod told, is that Obama was simply lying as a political necessity during the 2008 election. Obama was so frustrated, in fact, that after one event in which he had to say he was against same-sex marriage, Obama complained, "I'm just not very good at bullshitting." I would have to disagree with him about his self-assessment. Lying was actually his primary skill. Same-sex marriage advocate Joan Rivers had an entirely different take on the situation.
And do you think that the country will see the United States will see the first gay president or the first woman president?
We already have it with Obama, so let's just calm down.
Got it.
You know Michelle is a
I'm sorry, she's a what?
A transgender. We all know.
Oh my gosh.
3 weeks later, she died from complications during a routine medical procedure. Obama spent 8 years as president fear-mongering about sea level rise and said that the Paris talks in 2015 were the world's last chance to stop global warming. And then after he left office, he purchased a $12 million home on the beach in Massachusetts. This is prime property on Martha's Vineyard, and this is what Martha's Vineyard looked like in the 1938 hurricane. Most people don't spend $12 million on a home which they expect to go underwater. The crowning achievement of his presidency was his Affordable Care Act.
I also have a health care plan that would save the average family $2,500 on their premiums. And if you already have health care, then we're going to reduce costs an average of $2,500 per family on premiums.
We're going to work with your employer to lower the cost of your premiums by up to $2,500 a year.
And we'll cut the cost of a typical family's health care by up to $2,500 per year.
Once again, Obama has his eyes closed. The Obamacare architect Jonathan Gruber described what was actually going on at that time.
Okay, just like the lack of transparency is a huge political advantage. And basically, call it the stupidity of the American voter or whatever. But basically, that was really, really critical to getting the thing to pass. And, it's the second best argument.
They said, look, what you economics nerds want to do is you want to say that for people with expensive health insurance plans, they will no longer get a 40% tax break. What if we instead just levied a 40% tax on the insurance companies that sell these terrible expensive Cadillac plans? We said, well, that's pretty much the same thing, but why does it matter? I said, you'll see. And they were posted and that passed. Because the American voter is too stupid to understand the difference. Until a second Massachusetts hero arose, John Kerry. And John Kerry said, no, we're going to tax your health insurance. We're going to tax those evil insurance companies. We're going to impose a tax that if they sell health insurance that's too expensive, we're going to tax them. And conveniently, the tax rate will happen to be the marginal tax rate under the income tax code. So basically, it's the same thing. We just tax the insurance companies. They pass it on higher prices. That offsets the tax break we get. It ends up being the same thing. So a very clever basic exploitation of the lack of economic understanding of the American voter.
It's pretty clear that Obama never intended to lower health care costs. His administration was based on the idea that the people who voted for him were stupid and that he could lie to them over and over again. And he repeatedly proved that that theory was correct. Toto thinks that since then the situation has gotten much worse. The press and politicians no longer make any attempt to be credible or tell the truth. You can visit Toto, Kyrie, and Caesar on the web at realclimatescience.com.